Hey YouTubers, this is the review of Real Housewives of Lagos. The show opens up with Chuma calling Caroline to discuss the slumber party from the previous night. And she was saying that they had a great time. It was dull at first and kind of, you know, like if nothing was going to happen. But it picked up once they started the questioning and the little party games. And so she tells her that she's coming to her room. So, being that Chomo and Caroline are kind of good friends, she just wanted to go over some of the things that happened during the slumber party with Caroline. And so, especially the new person, Miriam, who was new to most of the women. Of course, she knows Tiana, but she didn't know the other women there. So Chuma is all bubbly and she can't wait to discuss what happened the night before because remember, it's her event. She's throwing this event for the ladies. But Caroline said, Chuma, listen, why are you so bubbly? Why can't you let me sleep? Because let's face it, the ladies had a long night of just revelry, good times, and of course the drinking. So Chuma wanted to know, why are you still in bed? And Caroline said, last night I was feeling sick. I was sneezing a little bit. But Chimo knows her friend and she knows there was something else in her mind that she was not saying. So she started to laugh. And she said, am I lying? And she said, yes. But you know what, YouTubers? It did appear as though Caroline was a little sick. Maybe she had a little sniffle, a little cold even. But it started to discuss what the events that happened the night before. And Chomo said she felt as though them asking the question whether or not Laura had, her chin done was a little inappropriate. And Caroline also agreed. But I do like Chomo's spirit in it all. She says it's a game. You have to be able to take it on the chin. No pun intended. Don't take it personal. That's how I feel. And that's how I think these ladies should conduct themselves. Not take it personal because it is a reality show. But I guess it's hard not to take it personal when the questions are posed to you and you have to disclose all this personal information that you have to be able to ask the hard questions, the tough questions, whether the person like it or not, because that's what the producers want in these women, for them to go there. But let's face it, this is a reality show, and no question is off limits. But some questions you don't want to talk about because it's so personal and you're opening new wounds. A lot of people don't realize when you ask these questions that are diving into really personal business, personal of a personal nature, you're opening wounds that you thought were healed. So Choma is feeling herself. She feels as though her little party, her little slumber party was a success. Everyone participated. The ladies had a great time. So Caroline and her husband are no longer together. But she respects him. He's doing the best for the children that she has with him. And instead of toying, leaving it alone, every time they meet up, she's asking her about her marriage. This time she wanted to know what happened between Carolyn's and her husband's marriage. And Carolyn said she didn't want to discuss it. And Toyin said, okay, I'm going to ask you another question. Truth or dare. And then they laughed it off. But Carolyn is correct. Some questions you don't want to answer. The person may ask it because you don't have any filter of what they're going to say, but you don't have to answer it. So, of course, Caroline, being all prim and proper, thought it was out of line for them to ask those personal questions, like her husband, for instance, about her marriage and how it broke up with her husband. And again, I like Chima's spirit because she said, What's the whole point of playing the game if you cannot ask the hard questions? I'm paraphrasing. What's the point? After all, it is a reality show. Before I forget, I do love that outfit that Chima has on, that red with the big fluff on the sleeves. She knows fashion, and that woman wears fashion well. Getting back to the story, Caroline said she doesn't appreciate it. People asking questions about she and her husband, ex-husband, and she would appreciate it if no one asked another question concerning her ex-husband. I have news for you, Caroline. It's a reality show. That's what you signed up for. If you cannot stand the heat, get out of the frying pan. And what most people forget is that they don't have to answer these questions. Another person can ask it, but you don't have to answer it. So don't get offensive. If someone asks you a personal question that you don't want to answer, all you have to do is say, I'm not going to answer that. It's none of your business. It's for me to know, you to find out. Moving on. Next question. So Caroline went on to say, when it comes to her family and her kids, especially, it's off limits. Again, you signed up for it. These women are going to ask you very personal and very touchy questions. And if you do not want to answer it, all you have to do is say, I take the fifth. I'm not going to answer that. So the next person Laura wanted to talk to was Chomo. And she went to her room. She wanted to get just a sense of how she's feeling now that she is among all the women, and is she feeling more at ease even with her? Because remember, Laura has beef with Chomo's sister, and she took it out on her because they had a drag out, knockout, cuss fest in the last episode. So right off, Laura tells Chomo she had an amazing time. She really enjoyed herself, and she threw some jabs. She said, I think we're cool now, especially since I'm poor and and we are not friends. So that was from a previous episode where Choma did say that she was poor and they weren't friends. So she brought that up and they laughed it off. And Choma just kind of wanted her to know the agenda for the day, just for her to get prepared properly, put on the right clothes. But YouTubers, trust and believe, although they laughed it off and they hugged and everything was nice, trust me, there's a lot of tension, especially with that Laura. Laura does not forgive, okay? So although Laura said Chima knows her and she's not that uptight, we have seen her being uptight already. So what is she talking about? If I was Chuma, I would have my good eye on her at all times. So the next scene we see Miriam and Toyin at the pool. And Toyin said to her, how do you feel about the girls after meeting them? What did you expect? And she said, well, first of all, in my opinion, Miriam is a handful, okay? She wants to be the life of the party. She wants to take charge. She wants to take over. It's the first time that she is among all the girls because she missed a couple of the episodes. I believe 4 episodes she missed already. So this is the first time she's meeting all of these ladies except for Toyin because they're best friends. And the first time meeting with the ladies, either you're going to love Miriam or you're going to hate her because she's a handful. Toyin is telling Miriam that she's so out of it because she thinks she got drunk the night before. She's just kind of relaxing, unwinding. She has no plans to go anywhere today because she still has a hangover. Miriam said the night was amazing, but she needed to talk to Toyin to get certain things off her chest. So she proceeded to sit down. And they started to talk about the night before, what happened with her and Caroline. Caroline didn't even know that Miriam had beef with her right away because Miriam said, when you're meeting a person for the first time and you shake their hand, you shake properly. You don't shake the tips of their finger like if they have the plague or leprosy. And that's what Caroline did to her. And she found it offensive. Honestly, YouTubers, I've seen a lot of people shake hands like that, just like the tip of the fingers when don't know someone, you don't know if they've washed their hands properly when they use the bathroom, so you're kind of cautious. And today's day and age with COVID, you don't even want to touch people's hands, to tell you the truth. So I can understand why Caroline just shook the little, you know, tips of the fingers. As a matter of fact, I don't shake hands anymore. I pound. I ball my hand up in a fist and I just hit the fist of the other person because I don't want to shake hands anymore. COVID has cured me from shaking hands. Okay? So Miriam said it's not her reaction that she should really ask about, it's their reaction because she says she stands out and people react wherever she goes. She is it. Okay? She's the one to watch, in other words. But to be quite honest, I feel as though all of these ladies are queens in their own right. They all stand out. They all have a sense of fashion and fabulosity, and they have good taste. Not one of them trumps the other one. I think every last one of them are on equal footing, just equal in every sense of the way. Because when it comes to fashion and style, that is. To be quite honest, YouTubers, sometimes being nice doesn't get the message across well. If you say, can you please move that, please? The person may not move it. But if you say, bitch, move that or else, you get a message across and the person will jump and move it. Move whatever it is you want move. So I can understand when Mariam used the B word, she drops it a lot in certain instances. She doesn't mean to be rude or obnoxious. It's just her way trying to get a message across. It's her way of communicating. And if you are uptight and Miss Prim and proper, then I don't think you're going to gel with Miriam at all. Like I said before, you're going to either love her or hate her when you first meet her. Toyin wrapped up their conversation. Miriam said, I need for you to represent me because I'm not going. I'm not feeling my best because I have a hangover. So Miriam said to Toyin, what are the girls like? I need to catch up with what they are all about. And Toyin said to her, that's why you need to spend time with them. You need to know what they're about, but you need to spend that time to find out the ins and outs, the do's and the don'ts about these ladies. You're not going to know what they're about if you stay away. And I agree 100% with Toyin because she missed the last couple of episodes. And so she don't know these ladies. She's the one who is now coming into this group of women and she needs to get to know them to better get along with them. But I have a new respect for Toyin because she could have clouded her judgment and talked bad things about the ones she don't like, but she didn't. She said, get to know them. In other words, form your own opinion. You don't need my input for you to decide who you like, who you don't like. And so I have to give her kudos, a round of applause for Toyin for just that statement. So it's clear that Miriam is not the one to be messed with. And all these ladies are, I would say, alpha females. You better not cross any of them. And this little one, Miriam, she's the smallest and the skinniest one of them all. But she looks like if she's got the biggest personality and she will cuss you at the drop of a hat. So these ladies better be on their best behavior around Miss Miriam. Okay? So Miriam and Toyin said their goodbyes. Toyin was at the poolside. Miriam left her there so she can get over her hangover, and Miriam went back to get prepared for this outing that is in store for them for the day. But the last thing she said to Toyin was, you better tell these ladies I don't play. Okay? So if they did not get the memo, you better let them know. I'm paraphrasing. So Caroline and the girls proceeded to go to the national park. And YouTubers, you can drop it in the comment section. Pastorella looks like Caroline, doesn't she? She said it was her childhood friend, that's her plus one. But they resemble so much they can pass as sisters. Although Toyin couldn't make it, her daughter was there to represent. And of course, all the ladies seem to be having a good time, a great time. And it may not seem like a bumper car race, but to the average person, it's not a big deal. But to these ladies who have a busy schedule, any little fun activity is appreciated. So I understand what Chuma's intention was. It was for them to get away, have a great time, some fun activities, and of course, some more questions and answer. So at the end of the race, Toyin daughter won. And of course, they all had great fun and they're getting ready for the night, the dinner. It wasn't a surprise to me that Tiana won. She's young and her young reflexes are better than these older ladies. Some of them are 40 plus, okay? In 5 years, they're going to be 50. So you cannot beat a young person and their reflexes, okay? So the next clip we see the night of the slumber party and everything that happened. Chuma trying to get the ladies all involved and play this game of musical chairs because at this point they are so bored. Everyone is on their cell phones and looking all depressed, like if they are saying to themselves, why am I here? Mariam really is a bit much, okay? She has to grow on you. She would have to grow on me, to tell you the truth. When she walked in, she said hello to everyone. She was meeting everyone for the first time, except Toyin. And, they hugged and she pretended to be dry humping Toyin. And everybody was just sitting there kind of shocked. It's the first time she's meeting these ladies and this is how she's acting. So, she's going to be bringing it in this show in terms of her attitude, the drama, and everything else that comes with Mariam. So when they were done, this musical chairs game, Mariam won. And of course, Chuma said that she allowed her to win because being the gracious host that she is, she allowed her to win. But we know how competitive Chuma is. She has a very competitive spirit and nature about her. So I would have to say maybe she didn't allow her to win. She won on her own. That's what my take on that. But this musical chairs game was interesting. Apparently, Chuma said the rules are if you lose, you have to drink wine. You have to drink your glass of wine. But some of the ladies protested when Chuma pulled the chair to sit on it. The chairs were in opposite direction, and in order to sit, she had to actually pull a chair, turn it around to sit on it. And so they protested. She says that's part of the rule. And of course, the ladies didn't know that. So they found that a little, out of character. But she has a competitive spirit. She will do anything to win, almost anything, I think. And that is why she's a great businesswoman, because it takes some savvy to win in life. But at the end of the game, the person who won was Mariam. Mariam outwitted her in terms of sitting on the chair before she did. She timed it just perfectly, and when she came around that chair, she anticipated the song stopping, because when the song stops, you have to sit on the chair. The first person to sit on the chair would, of course, not be out. And so Mariam sat before her and won the game. I'm not calling Mariam a liar, but I looked at the clip with her shaking Caroline's hand, and it didn't look as if she shook the tips of her fingers. It looked like if she gave an appropriate handshake. As ladies, we don't shake hands as men do. Full hands. We do like half the hands. And that's what I see. And I don't think it's inappropriate the way Caroline shook her hands. Maybe she just don't like her. You know, you hate some people at first sight, you just don't like them. Maybe this is one of those situations. So the next game they're about to play is to say something that you never did or don't like. So Mariam and Caroline said they've done everything. So that was laughter, and it set the stage for what was to come. So needless to say, by the end of the night, all these ladies are going to be drunk because everything involves sipping alcohol. If you lose, like the musical chair game, all the losers had to take a sip of their wine or champagne, whatever it was they were drinking. And of course, another rule is that you cannot lie. So, whatever the question is, you have to answer it truthfully. And Caroline in the confessional said, I hope the ladies remembered that they're strangers here in our midst. And I have news for you, Miss Caroline. You're all strangers, except for maybe two people who know each other, or three. Everybody else is a stranger. These ladies have not met each other until this event, this getaway. So the first question is, have you ever had a threesome? Carolyn said, that was too much. And oh my gosh, in front of total strangers. And you can see her invisible pearls. She was clutching them. I said to myself, Miss Carolyn, my dear, this show might not be for you. And of course, not surprisingly, Miriam said, yes, she has, but before her husband, before she got married. That was the disclaimer. So Carolyn said, never ever have I kissed a girl. And everyone drank because in this game, if they think you're lying, they drink. So she was shocked and surprised that they did not believe her. So, of course, Miriam started to throw shade. She said, the real question is, how many? How many girls has she kissed? And she chugged down another glass of wine, just as a dig, because clearly she does not like Caroline. So it was Laura Storm, and she said, never have I ever fallen asleep during sex. So the ladies had to guess if she was telling the truth or lying. And if they thought she was lying, they had to sip another glass of wine or just sips. And of course, some of the ladies, like Caroline, was shocked that she said that. But Toyin said she fell asleep during sex with her husband, and he didn't talk to her for a whole week. And I guess some people do fall asleep during sex if they're very tired. If you're very tired, you're going to fall asleep during anything. You know, even if you're getting a needle stick, you might not feel it because you're so tired and you doze off. So it's possible for a lot of people. And I can imagine a lot of people fell asleep during sex. And of course, Miriam, the person who tried everything, said she had that experience also where she fell asleep. And when her husband woke up, when she woke up, rather, her husband said to her, that was nice. And she said, what was nice? Because she completely did not feel anything. She didn't know it even happened. She was sound asleep. The next game they played was to guess the person that they're going to describe. Or if there's no description, then, to act like the person. And that was great fun. They all guessed the right person. So the game was one person acted out or do the sign of how the person acts, and then the group would guess who it was. And it was fun because they all guessed the right person. What was really funny was when Miriam acted out like if she was towing. And Toyin said she had her on point. She guessed her to the T. Of course, they're best friends. So next it was Chuma. Chuma acted as if she was Laura and everyone guessed correctly, Laura. And Laura jumped up and said, I don't act like that. I don't act like that. But a lot of times you don't see how you act. But when other people show you like the mirror image, then it hits you that, is that how I act? No, that can't be how I act. And so that was one of those instances. Miriam struck a pose and said, guess who? And of course, everyone knew it was Chomo. And she said later on in the confessional that she got her on point. She was correct, and that's exactly how she would pose for a picture. So Laura said, Miriam is all over the place, and she doesn't think some of the other girls like her. Why don't she say what she actually mean? She don't like her, because she already told her when they had that sit-down meeting that she don't think they're going to be friends. She thinks she's going to be the one to butt heads with her. And so I think Laura has formed an opinion about Miriam, and she don't seem to like her. On the other hand, Miriam likes Laura because they're both strong-minded, strong-willed people that, they're just what they call alpha females. So Laura said she's all over the place. And with all those shots and those glasses of wine that Miriam was taking, I'm surprised she's not climbing the walls and on the ceiling, because out of all the ladies, Miriam drank quite a bit. I think she outdrank everybody. So the next game that Chomo said they're going to be playing is Truth or Dare. What better way to learn your cast mates than to play this Truth or Dare game? So Laura was the first up to ask the question, the Truth or Dare question, to Caroline, because she seems to be obsessed with this woman's marriage, her ex-husband, and how they broke up. So that was the question she asked her. What happened with their marriage? She wanted to know details. And Caroline said, I will tell it when it's time and it's on my own choosing. Nobody's going to ask me a question. I'm paraphrasing. Ask me a question about my previous marriage unless I am good and ready. And besides, in the confessional, she pretty much says it's nobody's business. And I would have told her that to her face. I would have said, it's none of your business. What happened between me and my ex-husband is our business. So Caroline said, I don't want to talk about it because he's the father of my kids and I respect him. And Toyin said, okay, I know what happened, but you don't want to talk about it. So let's move on to the next question. Truth or dare? Everybody started to laugh. But in all fairness, I felt as though Toyin was ready to spill the tea about everything that happened in that woman's marriage. And she was just itching to tell everybody what happened. She wanted to open up that conversation. I think if anyone had asked her what happened, she would have told. But you could have seen the hurt and the pain in Caroline's face. She's still not over that breakup of that relationship because she's got 2 children with this man. And apparently she still loves him to this day. She said in the last episode, she still loves him to this day. So for Toyin to be so disrespectful and not caring about Caroline's feelings, I felt was uncalled for. And you know what goes around comes around. And I absolutely agree with Caroline. Toyin should start talking about her baby daddies for her husbands. And she's working on what? The 3rd husband. And she said if this doesn't work out, she's going to work on the 4th one with the 4th child, or how many child? 3 kids with 3 different men. Okay? That's what she should be concentrating on and be talking about. These ladies are holding back no punches. Okay, they're coming for the jugular. The next question was posed to Laura by Miriam about having her chin done, elongating her chin. And Miriam said she had her chin done. And Laura said, no, I have not. Apparently, Miriam is always on the blogs because that's what the bloggers are saying. Apparently, she's on the internet too much. That's what she said in the confessional. She said, I haven't had that done, but if I did, and if I needed, I would have it done. Okay? Because I have no problems with anybody trying to improve their look. Amen. Period. Stop. Okay? So I just thought it was funny that they even went there. They're not holding any punches back. So Laura made it clear, nope, I haven't had anything done to my chin. But the way Miriam was talking is as if she knew for sure. Did she talk to Laura's doctor maybe? Because she was talking emphatically like if she got it from the horse's mouth. But Laura did admit she always wanted a pointed nose. What is it with black people that they don't appreciate the nose that God give them? If you got a broad nose, a flat nose, a wide nose, a nose that's pointy, just be appreciative for whatever God gives you. You don't have to be ashamed or try to fix it or change it. YouTubers, that part was very unclear to me. Did she have some type of injections in the chin? Did she have anything done to her chin? Let me know in the comment section because I could not make it out what she said. Because the ladies did say it looks good on you. So I'm not sure what they were referring to. So drop it in the comment section. Let me know what they were referring to. So next, Miriam went after OG, Chima's friend. And she said, are you a full-time bitch or part-time bitch? Pretty much that was the question. And of course, she said she's not a bitch. And of course, Chama came to her defense. So we can tell right away that these two did not hit it off. And they're gonna never hit it off. If you call someone a bitch to their face or ask if they are a full-time or part-time bitch, and you're just meeting a person, trust and believe, no friendship is going to occur here. But usually you don't go after the friends, the plus ones. You go after the people who are on the show. But Miriam decided to go after the plus one. She's not a regular. She's just a one-day guest. So why go after her? Clearly, she doesn't like her. Oh my God, Miriam is too much. I know her husband thinks she's a handful. She asked Chuma to kiss her ass. And that was a shock to me. What was more shocking is that Chuma actually got up and did it. And that was great laughter. Miriam have zero inhibitions. She said it was one of the things on her bucket list, and now she can check that off. Ass kissed, check. It was funny. That was the dare, because this game is called Truth or Dare. I don't know, YouTubers, if your chain of thought was the way I was looking at this. In this society we are living now, in this day and age, women go out with women and women make moves on other women. And I'm looking at this as that could have been a move on Miriam's part on Chama. Who knows? Maybe she sees something she likes in her or likes her, and it was her way of opening up that Pandora's box. I don't know, but she did say that she's free-spirited, have tried a lot of things, and have done it all, okay? So maybe she's a bisexual. I don't know. This is all alleged. So the next scene, we see the ladies are meeting up for lunch. And Oyobo is back from her vacation / business venture with her daughter, shopping, showing her the ropes of where to get her merchandise for her princess store. And they're sitting, and Laura is not there. Caroline is not there. And Laura says, I don't care. If they show up with this negative vibe, it's best they don't come. So Oyobo decided to call Chima to see where she's at, if she's going to come. Chima said, "No, my aunt is sick. I'm visiting. No, no, I'm not going to be there because I'm visiting my aunt who has her 60th birthday party." And of course, she could not get a hold of Caroline. And I don't blame Caroline, though. She knows these ladies don't like her, most of them. And if Choma is not going to be there, I know she would feel as though it's going to be a fest of just nastiness, especially with that Toyin. Always got something to ask about her marriage. Toyin said every move uh, Choma makes, Caroline makes. It's as though she's like, this is my words, it's as though she is her shadow. She can't do anything without her. And, they were kikiing about it. And Laura made it perfectly clear, I don't care if they show up or not. I thought she put it behind her. I thought this animosity that's going on between her and these women, namely Caroline and Chomo, I thought she said she put it behind her. Apparently not. I told you guys in the beginning, she is not forgiving. So Laura said, I don't give a shit if they show up or don't show up. It makes no difference to me. And so Yaba wanted to know what happened. Are they okay with each other? Was there a new fallout? She's trying to catch up because she was away on her trip. So Laura said, no, we're cool, but I still don't care if they show up or not. So there's gonna be this forever beef between them. Let's face it. She don't like them, they don't like her. But the look Mariam gave her, oh my goodness, you gotta cut it with a knife. It was thick. It was the look that was heard around the world. You can tell these two are gonna have beef later on. So it's a reality show, and people do have to show up for the show to have a lot of meat, a lot of conflicts, a lot of discussions, etc. But I'm wondering if this is how it's going to be throughout the whole show. People not showing up for the different episodes. Because the first three, Miriam didn't show up. And then this one, Chima and Carolyn didn't show. And Iobo is just getting back from her business trip. So it's like every episode someone is missing. And it's not going to make for a very interesting show if people are not showing up. The audience is going to be bored to death. Now, most of these ladies say it's the first time they're meeting each other, but I have a feeling they all know each other outside, but they don't talk to each other. They know of each other. Not personally, but they know of each other. They're not friends to go up and talk to the person, but they know of each other. Because in that little circle that they're in, that business circle in where they live, pretty much all the business people probably know each other or know of each other. And so I feel as though what it is, they know of each other outside of this show, they bring it to the show. And they have already formed their opinions of each other. And so a lot of people, even Mariam, she met a lot of the women for the first time. And she have beef already with Caroline because she said she didn't shake her hands properly. She didn't give her a full handshake. She held her fingers. And if you look at the clip, Caroline didn't do that. She shook her hand like a lady should. So that tells me clearly she doesn't like her. Is it because she married a billionaire? Because Caroline did say a lot of people hate her for marrying someone so wealthy. So maybe that's it. Maybe this is why a lot of these women have problems with Caroline, because she married rich and she's got a lot of money. So Toyin said, maybe Caroline is a follower because Yabo said, why is she not here? Why Caroline is here? I understand why Chomo is not here because she's got a party to go to, a 60th birthday party for her aunt. But why is not Caroline here? And so when she said maybe she's a follower, everybody broke down laughing. And I thought that was unfair because Caroline is her own grown woman. She's her own person. If she don't want to be there, just like how Laura didn't want to show up to certain events, she has that right. She's not following Chomo. She just don't want to come because if Chomo does not show up, she knows she's going to be in the lion's den with all these ladies pouncing on her. So Laura was brutally honest. She said, we'll never be cool. We've said nasty things to each other. We do not talk outside of this show. So there's no friendship to be had, period. So this little luncheon / drinks was Laura's invitation to everyone to have a sit down with her because she has an announcement to make. She's going to be launching her fashion line and she wants them to walk the runway. And by Chomo and Carolyn not showing up, it's really a disrespect towards her. And so I'm sure she feels very upset. She is pissed off, but she doesn't want to show that side. She just says she don't care if they show up or not. I feel as though Caroline as well as Chomo could have called Laura to let her know that they were not going to be there instead of having everybody wait for them or, trying to figure out what happened. They could have extended a courtesy call to let someone know if they didn't want to let Laura know. She's the one who's throwing the event. So at least they could have common decency and courtesy. They should have called her. And if not her, some other person in the group to let them know that they were not going to be there. Instead of having a Yobo call. I mean, it's a little luncheon for the girls, a little meetup for the girls, but at least they could have extended that courtesy. So the next day, Miriam decided to meet up with Chomo, and she told her to make the next day, a fresh start for her, Caroline, and Laura. And she said, when you come, bring Caroline with you. And I thought that was so disrespectful. She talked about bringing Caroline along as if Caroline is a child. And that is something I had issue with. Because how dare her talk about Caroline in such a manner? She's a grown woman. If she chooses to come to an event or not, that's her prerogative. I don't think Chomo really has a say-so in whether she goes to an event or not. Because Caroline is her own woman, her own person, her own boss. So the next day, Laura and Mariam decided to meet up. So Mariam is swimming at the pool and Laura meets her there. And they're sitting down to have a girl-to-girl heartfelt talk. And Laura said, listen, I am a little shy, but not too shy to tell people how I feel. Mariam said the same thing. She's the same way. She speaks from the heart. She does not pull punches. But I know Laura was talking about her sister when she said, if you say anything bad about anybody I love, I'm going to give you attitude from the first day to the last day that I meet you. So that was pertaining to her sister. But I feel as though you don't take on other people's battles. Of course, it's your loved one, it's your sister, and you love them enough to not be in other people's orbit who has beef with your sister, but you let your sister fight her own battles. You don't hate people because that person don't like your sister. You come to your own conclusion based on what you see, how they treat you. Maybe they'll treat you differently than they treat your sister if you give them a chance. So Mariam said she and her has that in common, that if you dislike a loved one, someone that they love, they're not going to gel with you at all. You're going to have beef with them from beginning to end. So based on that, Mariam says she's okay in her book. She likes her. But I know there are a lot of people like that. If you have beef with your family members, then you have beef with them automatically. They're not going to listen to what you have to say. They're not going to judge you on their own merit or your own merit. One-on-one, getting to know you, and then deciding if they're going to like you or not. That's out of the question. A lot of times they judge you simply based on the fact that you don't like their family member and your family member don't like you. So Laura made it clear to Miriam that they are good in terms of she can get along with them on the show, but outside the show, they're not friends. Never will be friends. And she said, she dropped this little tea. There are a lot of lies going around. People claiming to have what they don't have, and people claiming to be what they're not. I wonder who it was she was talking about. But we are going to find out later on in the show. So, but it looks like if Laura and Mariam will get along. Although Laura said we will clash when tensions get high, because both of them are strong-willed, strong-headed, and they're like bulls. You know, when two bulls get angry and they butt heads, and you see that smoke coming through the nose, that's what. If ever these two collide and have beef, there is going to be fire and brimstone coming down from the heavens, okay? So Laura said, listen, let me apologize in advance. So when this beef comes down and we are at odds with each other, I'm going to apologize to you now, okay? And she also said to her, I feel as though I can't trust you. I don't know. It's just a feeling I cannot trust you. And she went on to say, she didn't explain why exactly, but she just said she had a feeling. You can't blame Laura. Because look, she met up with Iyabo and she confided in her all the things that she thought about the ladies and they don't like her. And if Caroline stepped to her, she would slap her. And Iyabo went right back and told it. So Miriam seems like that type that she would go right back and spill the beans. So you can't blame her for telling her to her face she feels as though she can't trust her. And if I were Laura, I wouldn't trust her either. So Miriam felt as though she can call Laura friends. And Laura, guard her. Put her on warning and say, don't call other people a friend until they tell you that they are your friend. Because Laura is speaking from experience. She just got bit in the butt when she thought another person was her friend in the group. And they said that she was just a customer, that she is not their friend. I'm putting some of this aerial footage in my video and some water footage because I feel the scenery is so beautiful. I can't leave them out. So this was a very productive meeting that Miriam and Laura had. For some reason, I feel as though these two will be friends. They may butt heads, but because they come to this understanding and have really, I think, connected in some way, I think they are going to be friends, but we will see. So in the next scene, Laura, Mariam, and Iyabo meets up, and Laura is telling them that she and her friend collaborated to do this clothing line. And the outfit that she has on is from her own collection. It's fresh, it's Laura, it's young, it's cool. And so Mariam, she's skinny and she looks like a model already. And she didn't have to tell her twice, she's in. And Yabo shows them her veneers. Apparently, she had her teeth done, and the ladies are complimenting her that it looks fabulous. It really looks nice. It's not too big, it just suits her face. But I understand why Caroline and Chamo is not there. But Toyin wasn't there either. So I'm wondering what's going on. Apparently, Laurie's not getting along with any of those three, maybe. But I thought she and Toyin was friends. But I don't think Toyin is going to walk any runway for anybody because she says she's king of queens. Choma is out because Choma and her have beef. And of course, Caroline is not going to walk the runway for her, period. So, YouTubers, drop it in the comment section what you think about Laura's outfit, her collection wear that she's wearing. It's colorful, it is young, it is vibrant, it says Laura. That's how I feel. I feel it's appropriate. It looks um, like a jacket dress. And it fits her well, it looks well, it's easy to wear, and it's not, you don't have to wrestle with it to get it on. Drop it in the comment section. Let me know how you guys feel about this outfit. So Laura, sit down there and declare that Iobo and Mariam are her friends now, whether they like it or not. Mariam rolled her eyes, and I think Laura forgot. Iobo is the same one who said they were not friends, and she took that tea back to Chomo. So I'm wondering why she declared her friends. Maybe because she wants Mariam to walk the runway and for Mariam and Iobo to come to the fashion show. I thought she wasn't friends with anyone. YouTubers, let me know in the comment section about this statement that she made. I'm confused. So it is the night of the dinner, and Chama arrives first. She is the hostess, and she's looking beautiful. She arrives in a Rolls Royce and looking stunning. The dinner venue was gorgeous, and just the decor, everything was on point. And by the way, it was a black Rolls Royce, arriving in style, honey. Next arrived was Laura and her plus one. And when they walked in, of course, Chomo said that Laura looked very nice. Her dress was beautiful. And she also mentioned the fact that her plus one was not looking up to par for the evening. And she said, did she not get the memo? But not everyone is as fancy as Chama. Not everyone wants to be glitzy and glamorous every single time they go out. So Chama and Laura was having a little girl talk just before the others arrived. And Laura was telling her that she really wasn't comfortable with the questioning about sexuality when they were playing those little games. And Chama said, well, it was fair game. And everyone was asked very personal questions, and it wasn't personal. Next to arrive was Toyin and her daughter, Tiana, and they all looked beautiful with their black and silver ensemble for the evening. The next person to arrive was Mariam and her plus one. And Mariam had on black and silver. And it looks like if a memo went around indeed of the dress code for the evening, black and silver. Or maybe the ladies just know that that is dinner attire. Black, which is a basic color for dinner, and then you can put that with maybe some bling, some gold, some silver. Maybe that's what it is, because I can't imagine a memo actually being sent on what they should wear. So Miriam commented that everybody's wearing black and silver, and she always gets the memo. And Toyin said she always knows the appropriate attire to wear. There's always this particular person always is late. And who is she talking about? Caroline. Making her grand entrance looking like the president's wife. And of course she had to look different. She had on I think it was a pink, it's not red, but it's a pink outfit with gold. A gold, what is it? A gold hat or turban. But she and her plus one looked impeccable. I love the outfits. So as soon as everyone was seated, Choma said, "Attention everyone, we're going to play a little game. What you thought about each other in the past and what you think of each other now in the present. You know, when you met, what did you think about a person? And now that you know the person a little better, what do you think about them now?" And I said to myself, oh no, not another game. Oh no, Chima, I don't think these ladies can stand another game, because every game you guys play seems to end up hurting somebody's feelings. So in any event, they went on to play the game. So Laura said in the past she thought Toyin was problematic. But now she's gotten to know her a little better, she can respect her more. And she knows that she is not what she thought in the past. So her view on Toyin has changed. So Miriam chose Caroline to make her, before and after. What she thought about her before and what she thought about after. She only had one day, however. She has only known her one day. And she commented on the handshake. When she greeted her, she said she held her fingertips to shake. It wasn't a proper handshake, and she felt as though she treated her as if she had COVID. And she said, and she told the crowd, told the lady, she said, "Bitch." So that was her immediate thought. She thought of her as a bitch, and she said she don't think about her that way anymore. She thinks about her as a little bitch. So I said, the shade this woman is throwing is unbelievable. She didn't like her yesterday and she didn't like her today. That's pretty much what she was saying. I didn't like you when I met you. I don't like you now because you're still a bitch, but you're a little bitch. And yesterday, I thought of you as a big bitch. But you know what? She lucky she got a handshake. If it was me, I wouldn't have shaken anybody's hand, because it's COVID time and nobody's shaking hands anymore. Everybody's pounding, doing the fist. You knuckle up. And next, Toyin spoke on Laura. And she said, Laura is misunderstood. And pretty much, she put it in a nutshell. No, Laura, just be yourself. It doesn't matter who likes you, who doesn't like you, just be yourself. And of course, Laura, being Laura, had to blurt out, "I don't care." And as Toyin was speaking niceties about Laura, you should have seen Choma's face. She had this disdain look to her face. I think she forgot that she was the hostess and she was supposed to be nice to everybody. So Caroline in the confessional say, why can't this woman use other words beside bitch? Use your vocabulary, Miss Miriam. And Miriam in the confessional say, you know what? There are 3 types of ways I can say bitch. I mean different things based on how I pronounce it and the cadence to the word. So pretty much, Miriam said she's not going to stop being herself. She's not going to change for anyone. She's Miriam all day, every day. Like it or leave it. If you don't like it, you don't have to be in her face. Pretty much, I'm paraphrasing, but that's what she meant to say. So up next, it was Chima. And Chima, she talked about Caroline looking all presidential when she walked in, all intimidating. And she said at first glance, people would misunderstand her and just look at her as though she is not reachable. But that would be a false narrative. Then Chomo spoke about Caroline. She said she's the sweetest, the kindest, the most loving. What else did she say? All the accolades she threw upon Caroline. And of course, Laura had to take a gulp of her drink, whatever she was drinking. I think it was wine or champagne. She had to take a deep gulp. But you have to be yourself. If this is how Caroline is, and she is very much misunderstood, then it is what it is. She cannot change herself for anyone. And then it was Caroline's time to talk. And she spoke highly about Chomo. And she said that she was, a great friend, everything, etc., all the niceties. And Laura was so ticked off. In the confessional, she said, on one hand, Chima is talking nice about Laura, about Caroline, and then it was Caroline's turn, and she started talk nice about Chomo, and she said, why don't you guys just get a room in the confessional? Because she was so ticked off that everything nice and spicy they were saying about each other, nothing negative. But I thought it was funny when Caroline said, I see Choma as my little sister. I love her. She is such a good friend. She's like my little sister. I'm just older than her by 1 year. And that was the big laughter. And Choma said, no, by 15 years to be exact, not 1 year. But clearly, these two are very good friends. And Laura can't stand it. She said, finally, the food is here. I wasted a good hour listening to these people. Finally, I can eat. Laura is such a little hater. It's unbelievable. She just hates pretty much everybody at the table. She can't stand the majority of these women. I don't know why she's on the show. I think she's just there for the fame, maybe to get her numbers up on her Instagram page. I don't know. I'm still scratching my head why she's still on that show and why she even accepted the invitation to come on the show, because clearly she don't like Caroline, and she knew Caroline and Choma was going to be on the show. But overall, it was a great 5th episode. I enjoyed it. However, it was a lot to report on. The ladies brought their A game in this episode. The plus ones were nice ladies, and I thought it was unfair when Miriam picked on one of them. So, YouTubers, there you have it. That's my recap for this show. Season 1, Episode 5 of Real Housewives of Lagos. We're going to be looking forward to Episode 6. I can't wait. YouTubers, drop your thoughts in the comments section. I'd like to know what you think about this episode. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel and to this video. Thank you.